Hey everybody, this is David with Edify Arms. Thank you for joining me today as I do an unboxing, an installation, and a demo of the Streanlight TLR-7 Sub weapon-mounted flashlight. Designed for subcompact pistols, this particular version is for a Glock 43X MOS. Before unboxing the flashlight, I did want to take a step back and explain some differences in the Glock 43X models that will influence ultimately the type of flashlight you can put on your firearm. And so just to explain some of these differences, I want to show you something. So this right here is a Glock 43X. This is not the MOS version. So you'll notice there's no cutout here for a red dot. And also, more importantly, there is no tactical rail on the non-MOS version of the 43X. So traditionally what people have had to do if they wanted to put weapon-mounted flashlights is they could either one, go with the TLR-6 flashlight, which is a clamshell design that attaches to the front of the trigger guard and the bottom of the lower receiver. And when those are tightened together, they clamp onto the pistol and you have your weapon-mounted flashlight. It wasn't a bad flashlight, but it was only 100 lumens, which is a lot lower than what I would normally want to carry on a defensive pistol. That's just my opinion. So the other option people had with the non-MOS version is to buy the Recover tactical rail, which was a plastic tactical rail that again had sort of the clamshell design, which it clamped onto either sides of the bottom of the receiver, and when they were screwed together would act as a rail, which in turn you could mount flashlights like the Olight Mini and things like that. So those were primarily your two options for the non-MOS version. So when I decided I was going to go for the 43X, I waited for the MOS version. And so of course the MOS version comes cut, the slide comes cut to mount your red dot optic of choice. It also has the rail system here, and this is a proprietary Glock rail system. So this rail system will allow flashlight manufacturers to go ahead and design weapon lights specifically for this firearm, in which this case it's the TLR-7 Sub. All right, and that was specifically designed for the Glock 43X MOS. All right, so you just need to know the difference between the two Glock 43Xs, MOS and non-MOS, in order to determine which light is going to be right for you. So again, just pay close attention to that. It's something that took me a while of researching on the internet before I understood the differences. So again, something important to know. Okay, let's go ahead and move forward with the unboxing. And I'll go ahead and move some of these things out of the way. So our package here can get all of the attention that it deserves. And again, we're looking at the Streanlight TLR-7 Sub. And so real quick, I just want to go over some of the specs for this particular light. So this is a 500 lumen flashlight, so it's pretty powerful for such a small compact size. It has ambidextrous rear switches, which I'll go ahead and show you when I unbox. They use one CR123A lithium battery. And with this weapon-mounted light, you can attach the Glock, Sig Sauer, Smith & Wesson, Beretta, Springfield Armory, and Heckler & Koch railed compact handguns. And again, each model of Streanlight TLR-7 Sub will be specifically designed for your particular firearm. So again, make sure that you're getting the Glock 43X version when you order, because there are differences between the models of the TLR-7 Sub. Additional specs on this light is you have about a 1.5 hour runtime of continuous on, which is a pretty long period of time. Your beam distance is 141 meters. You have 5,000 max candela. The length is 2.51 inches. And the weight comes in at 2.39 ounces. And the only color that this thing comes in is black. All right, we'll go ahead and unbox this thing. This is basically the same packaging all the TLRs have, so there's nothing new here, nothing of surprise. Of course, it comes with the battery, the unit itself. I'll put that aside. Along with the package, you will have these different rail units that you could use, or they're really spacers that you can change out to get a better fit on your firearm. And I'll go ahead and talk about that here in a second. And some more spacer. Here you have your basic swag documentation, your user manual, pretty straightforward. That's about it. All right, not much in the package. Put this to the side. Go ahead and pull out the unit here. And again, I'll get real close here. She is pretty. And here you have those rear controls. All right, and so we're going to go ahead and install the battery. So I'm going to unscrew the LED cover, put that to the side. Now, one thing to pay attention to here on the Streamlights, you'll see a little picture of a battery here. And this actually shows you what the orientation of the battery is when it goes into the unit. So we're going to go positive side first, just like the picture tells us to do. Go ahead and enter that in, and we'll screw back on the cap. Now, with these Streamlights, as you turn the LED cover, once you get to the appropriate tightness, the light will work. If you tighten down too hard, it won't work. If you tighten down too loose, won't work either. All right, so there's actually a tactile noise that this makes when you're turning, and you'll feel that when you're working with the light. I'll just keep turning here. There we go. All right, and so again, the controls for this light are here located on the back, and it's pretty straightforward. There's nothing really too complicated about it. If you press and let go real quick, it'll be a constant on. If you hold down and let go, it's momentary on. So you can look, turn off, move. All right. And then there's a third feature, which is the strobe feature, which does not come enabled out of the box. And you actually have to turn that feature on. The way you do it is you click on one of these black back controls, either one's fine. You click it a total of 10 times, and it has to be done in a rapid pace. On the 10th time, you will hold down the button until you see the light flicker, at which point you know that feature is enabled. So I'll go ahead and do that now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, the light came on. There's the strobe feature. Turn off the strobe feature. Strobe feature basically works by double clicking and a single click to turn it off. Pretty straightforward operation. And I'll show you how to go ahead and install this. It's pretty straightforward as well. And just so everybody knows, this pistol is empty. Chamber's clear, mag's clear. We have a safe weapon. So, one thing you're going to want to play with a little bit when you go to install it the first time. Again, there's several different mounting plates that you can choose from. And the way these mounting plates work, just so you know, is so if you look at the firearm at the very front, you'll see a little notch here, right? And those pieces fit into that notch, and they're one of the main secure points. And so basically you're going to pick a piece that fits into this little notch, right? And again, there's several to choose from. You're going to have to find the one that works best for you, all right? And so I've done that to this one already. So I'm going to go ahead and mount this sucker. All right, and I'm going to go ahead and tighten it down. Now, one thing to know if you haven't messed with these before, the screw that's used to tighten it down looks like a flathead screwdriver, but in reality, they don't work that well. So first thing you do is you want to hand tighten it. I've already done that. then you take like a coin or shell casing, right? It's got the rounded edges, fits perfectly into the groove, right? And I want to go ahead and tighten this thing down. You don't want to tighten it too much. It's pretty solid hand down, but as you notice, it is fastened on there tight. It ain't going nowhere, right? And so this is what the firearm looks like with the light attached. What I really like about this light, you know, from a cosmetics perspective is I like how it overhangs underneath the barrel, sort of like the TLR-1s do on the larger Glock 19s and 17s. So it sort of gives it the big boy look in a smaller form. So it looks pretty neat. All right. And so next we'll actually go out to the field and we'll test this thing. We'll test it at different distances to see what kind of light this thing really throws at night, so you guys can get a better understanding of what you're working with. All right guys, for this demo, what I wanted to do was to show the light at different distances so you can see how well the flashlight casts a beam. The flashlight is rated for 141 meters, which is roughly a football and a half size. So I'm not going to go out 150 yards. What I decided to do was 5, 10, 15, and 20 yards, so you can see what the beam looks like at each of those distances. So the first one up is the 5 yards, and I'll go ahead and activate the light. As you can see, there is plenty of coverage, super bright light. You're able to illuminate the target and see everything with no problems. All right, and here we are starting at 10 yards, and we'll go ahead and activate the flashlight. And as you can see at 10 yards, everything is very well illuminated. I can see everything. All right, here we're at 15 yards. Let's go ahead and activate the light. And at 15 yards, you have excellent illumination of the target. All right, here we're at 20 yards. We're going to go ahead and activate the light. At 20 yards, there is excellent illumination of the target and everything around it. Again, without having to go out any further than 20 yards, I think you start getting a good idea of how well the flashlight works. There's excellent illumination at all of your self-defense ranges from 5, 10, 15, and 20 yards. Again, flashlight works excellent at those distances. All right, guys, that wraps up my little video of the Streanlight TLR-7 Sub for the Glock 43X MOS. If you've enjoyed this video, please hit subscribe to my channel. It does a lot to get my channel out there and more of my videos seen. So again, thank you very much for taking the time to watch this video.